His feet left the ground and his body was guided missile, hurtling between the two opposing players at full steam. He hit the target shoulder first, low and legal. There was much sickening crunch of muscle flesh against not muscle flesh. His target spun backward through the air, upending 180 degrees. There was a moment of pure weightlessness. Malcolm's arms now firmly clenched around his target waist, and then they were both crashing downward. There was a spray of dark red mud as they hit the ground. Malcolm felt the collision reverberate through his bones, heard of the grunt of his target as the air left his lungs, and quickly realized his grip. There was applause from the far side of the park where Malcolm's teammates were gathered, and mass groan from the near side where the enemy had gathered. Malcolm rose slowly to his feet. He looked down at his target, who was lying on his back in the mud. Locks of his lavish blonde hair matched to his forehead, that strangely shaped ball still gripped tightly in his arms. Malcolm grinned, then held out his hand. Teddy Sears from Barron's Osaka office took it, letting Malcolm pull his to him snow knees. "Nice hit," he said, his English accent stumbling out through his disastrous teeth. There was a grass tuck to his right cheek, and a huge mud stain covered most of his white Oxford shirt. His dark pants looked torn around the knees. Malcolm hadn't meant to hit him that hard, but then again it served right. His teammates had been going on all morning about the difference between rugby sevens and American football, about how much tougher the English players were. The rugby challenge had been their idea, not Malcolm's, and Malcolm's teammates had tried to explain Malcolm's past to them. But they hadn't wanted to listen. Their rugby team had been winning games all over town, beating the Dutch, a group of visiting Aussie bankers, and their own colleagues from Tokyo. Well, most of those players had already sheepishly made their way back to the English bench, leaving Malcolm alone with his captain in the center of the field. He didn't expect more comments about toughness from them. He'd already knocked down most of them. Sears had been the last to go. "Sorry about your pants," Malcolm said, pulling the Englishman to his feet. "It was a nice catch, and you did manage to hold on. I thought for sure you'd lose the ball when we went down. Actually, I felt like I'd lost my head, never mind the ball. Tough little broke, aren't you?" Malcolm laughed. Sears was a full head taller than him, but probably weighed 20 pounds less. Even covered in mud, he looked more like a plastic figurine from the wedding cake than a rugby player or the exchange train. His trademark hair was tied partially back in a ponytail behind his head, and his pale skin was less pasty now, his cheeks red by the collision of the mid-morning sun.